motivations for that. One thing I didn't talk about, and maybe I should, we are in Washington, is where we are with Turkish-American relations. And I think there is much to be told on Turkish-American relations, especially over the last couple of months. You know that Turkey was on the brink of moving into Iraq. We have about 80,000 to 100,000 soldiers on the border of Iraq. And the visit of our Prime Minister on November 5 with President Bush obviously made a huge impact on a cooperative and joint operation into northern Iraq that targeted PKK terrorists only. I think it was successfully managed, and then Turkish-American relations actually turned from a brink. Had H.I. 106 passed, or we would not have received or obtained the cooperation that we had from the Americans in this incident. I think there could have been a serious strategic rupture in Turkey and the United States that could have had long-term impact between our countries. But although it's sad that it took us to put 100 soldiers on the border to get the attention of the American president, the fact is we achieved what we wanted to achieve, and that is that we did it jointly with the intelligence cooperation of the United States. And you probably know there's a defense mission at this, as we speak, in town, who are now discussing further detailed, more comprehensive intelligence cooperation between our countries in combating the PKK. But it's, I think, worth noting that until November 5, 2007, there was a serious threat of a strategic rupture between Turkey and the United States. There could have been something called the perfect storm. I mean, imagine H.R. 106 came to the floor, was accepted. Right after that, as you know, the two major PKK attacks occurred. Turkey was in a full mood in moving into Iraq. And imagine what would have happened if Turkey had to move on its own without U.S. approval or cooperation in northern Iraq. There could have been a serious strategic rupture. But I think sanity, common sense, and rational decision-making finally, particularly on the American side, that facilitated intelligence cooperation between our countries has brought about a situation where we did not get into that perfect storm. And I think from now on, if you have seen the figures, even this short term of intelligence cooperation, the fact that President Bush pronounced the PKK as a common enemy, and then again with President Gül's visit here, that being confirmed, has even this small, short time frame has produced a lot more favorable opinion in Turkey about the United States, and actually shows that anti-Americanism in Turkey is not really about Americans, American lifestyle, culture, but it's more about policy. And when policy shifts, policy changes, when United States policy becomes more balanced between the Kurds in northern Iraq and Turkey, Turkish public opinion immediately responds. And therefore, I'm extremely optimistic on the Turkish-American relationship, especially with a new administration coming in, that the relationship between Turkey and the United States will be redefined in such a way where we will identify areas and issues where we will work together, and identify issues where we may not work together, but agree to disagree.
Gökhan Çetinsay'a fellow at the Luncheon Center. Do you think this new Turkish foreign policy is reversible by a new government in the future, or economic factors or work factors?
There is a discussion that my good friend Ian Messer, for instance, argues that if Turkey wouldn't be growing 7.5% a year, that Turkish foreign policy could not be as effective or influential as it has been. That Turkey's self-confidence emanates to some extent by the economic growth that's been enjoyed over the last 5 years, and we should also commend the coalition government before us, who did all the hard work and bit the bullet and prepared the background for a successful 5-6 years in the economy. I am personally, there's no doubt if the economy sours, if there's an external shock in the global economy and Turkey will be seriously impacted, that this would obviously have an impact on our capacity to do things. I mean, the Turkish International Development Agency is spending close to $140 million a year on development aid, including in Darfur. And other agencies, Turkey's international development assistance of all institutions in Turkey is about $350 million a year. If the economy is in trouble, obviously this would mean less capacity. But whether a new government could reverse Turkey's,
especially I'm asking about the visionaries.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I doubt it. I don't think it's a luxury anymore to turn our back to the Middle East and we say we have nothing to do with the Arabs. I think by nature of the situation we are in Iraq, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, I don't think anyone has the luxury to turn our back. I doubt it's possible. It would require a very ideologically motivated government that has a very hard view on the East, the Middle East, or the North, or anywhere else to reverse this. I don't think we have the luxury to go back to the old paradigm where there would not be a multi-dimensional understanding, but there would be only one or two dimensions. I doubt it. And I can attest to you the most favorable, most of our diplomats understand now that an appointment to Riyadh or to Beirut or, I don't know, to Cairo is now desirable. Many of them learn now Arabic, they understand that this is a good career move. So this is, in itself, I think, is an indication that not only the government, but also the bureaucracy understand this is part and parcel of our lives. Whether we like it or not, we have to engage, understand, work with these regions.
There was a little blurb on the TV last night, so I don't have very much information on it, but apparently a gentleman in Turkey was either arrested or charged with insulting Atatürk. And I'm wondering if you have any information on that and how the party generally feels about that?
Atilla Yayla. Well, that's the head of the Liberal Thought Association, and he's an academic. And he uttered words about what exactly did he use? I think cult or I don't exactly remember the wording, but there was in a conference, I think, prior to the election, he made remarks that were deemed to be offensive by some of our elite. And it opened a court case against him. He lost his job at the university. And there were some NGOs and intellectuals, media outlets who came in support of him. It's probably an interesting test case where our democracy is going, whether freedom of speech can be facilitated, whether a person, whether we like it or not, expresses an idea